ESPN Sports Radio 1300, welcoming you to the Lexington Legends Inside Scoop, keeping you updated on the news and happenings of your Lexington Legends. We'll talk to the players, coaches, and personalities that make the Lexington Legends one of the premier minor league teams in the country. This is the Lexington Legends Inside Scoop. And now, the man who calls the action, play-by-play voice of the Lexington Legends, Keith Elkins.
Let's play ball!
Look, this is the first official visit for you, I guess, in your role as Legends manager to Lexington. Tell me about this two-day swing in here and what you're doing.
Well, it's been great so far. We've drove around the city a little bit and checked out some apartments and trying to find a place to live. And so far, I love the city. I don't think I've met everyone here so friendly and nice to us. It's been great. And, it's fun. We're all excited about being in Lexington. I know the Royals are. I know myself, especially, is excited to come to Lexington to kick off the Royals season.
And, of course, as you work your way up the minor league ladder, the stops sometimes will shift from year to year. Sometimes you might be 2 years in one spot. But tell me about that lifestyle and how you adjust to it and how you go about that.
Well, it's been different. I mean, I've been playing since '94, and this is my fourth year managing. So, my family and I were kind of used to moving around. So that's one thing. It definitely keeps it exciting. And over my career, we've added some. Four children in the mix, so that makes it even more excited about moving around. And it definitely keeps us on our toes, but it's fun. I mean, we love going to different cities and travel around and see the country and manage baseball. So it's definitely exciting.
I understand we'll see probably a lot of your boys here at the ballpark this summer. Is that right?
Yeah, there'll be four blonde boys running around. So don't if they're being rude, please tell me. But no, yeah, they'll be here, and after school's over, they're going to come up and live here, and they'll definitely make their presence felt, I'm sure.
Well, you've been looking around the ballpark, being here a couple of days now, and of course Scott Sharp, the director of minor league operations, is here in town now. Is there a chance to conduct a little business standpoint from you getting together with him, or is this just more or less a casual meeting to get acquainted with Lexington? It's
more casual, I think. Our business part of it will probably come in spring training when guys start working out and see some more of the players and figure out how their spring's going. But this is just a fun event here and for a good cause and raise some money and get to know some of the fans in the front office and you, Keith. It's nice meeting you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
I know we're going to spend a lot of time together on
Absolutely.
buses, so it's just a good casual event that people here having a good time to get to know the fans and see the ballpark.
And fans who follow Major League Baseball know that during the winter the teams are often in contact with the players, maybe not so much specific minor league personnel, but what is the connection there? After the guys left at Kane County last year, do you stay in touch with some of them over the winter, or is it a matter of everybody taking some time off and doing what they need to do and then get back together in spring training?
We take some time off. I mean, I went to instructional league, so I saw all those guys after the season for another month and a half. Worked with them down in Arizona in instructional league, so we stay in contact with some of them. But it's more of a downtime. They can do their thing. We kind of do our thing. And once we get back into spring training, we'll start getting the grind on and getting moving. So.
And everybody at this time of the year especially begins to look forward to spring training. But on the other hand, as you say, that downtime and family time especially is very valuable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have the off season. Especially it's a long year. I mean, 5 months of playing every day. So it's definitely a grind, and once that season's over, it's nice to go home and unwind a little bit. But, it's funny, you always have the itch, though. You always have, as a player, when I played, as soon as the season's over, you went home for 2 weeks, and you're like, you're bored.
Time to get going, yeah.
And now, obviously, the kids keep me busy, but you always have that internal gear that wants you to get back into baseball. And once the calendar changes, it starts to get exciting again about getting to spring training and seeing the guys and working with them and helping them out.
Well, as you can see, this is a fun event for us, an exciting one, part of our off season, and we really appreciate your presence here tonight.
Yeah, this is great. I thank you guys for inviting me out here. This is a great event, and we're looking forward to it.
All right, we'll see you again soon.
All right,
thanks. Scott, first of all, we appreciate your participation in this event. This is a nice off-season event for us, and glad to have you here.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here. It's a great event. It's awesome, and hopefully it raises awareness and some money for the cause as well.
And you know from working in minor league baseball that community involvement is very important for the success of a team, and of course the players, when they get here, they'll be doing some public service things too. I'm sure that's an important part of the development of a Kansas City player.
It is, and we preach that. Actually, we just had a camp in Arizona, a leadership camp, and we were talking a lot about that, about how you need to be a leader and how you need to be involved in your community, and you can't wait until you get to the big leagues or in Kansas City to do that. You have to do it every stop along the way.
And speaking of development of players, of course, now we're getting closer and closer to spring training. We talked a little bit earlier in the off-season about how you kind of have an idea where guys would go, but I guess now the next step is to actually get back out on the field again before you make your decisions.
Yeah, we have a group coming in on February 13th, and we have 3 reporting dates. You know, they'll all be out there by March 1, and we're excited about this team. We think it's going to be a really good club.
And in talking to our group of fans here tonight, you mentioned that, and we've heard that all along, that this appears to be as though it's going to be a pretty strong Legends team.
It is, and they are going to be young. I mean, I certainly do want to note that. And, you know, they're 17 to 22-year-old kids, and they're going to make mistakes, but they're highly talented, and they're going to play hard. And that's one thing we preach is, you know, your ability is one thing, but the ability to play the game hard, everybody can do that.
And you mentioned the age range there, and actually in terms of personal maturity, that can be a pretty wide age range. You got some very young kids, and then maybe some guys who've been in college 2 or 3 years. It does cover quite a bit of ground.
It is, and again, that's, you know, kind of speaks to the camp we just had. We want these guys to get together. They all have unique experiences. They all come from different places, but they all are working on the same thing. They're part of one 25-man roster.
You mentioned in your remarks to the fans too about the Royals making a push now and beefing up the big league club and trying to make a run there in the American League Central. And while oftentimes that doesn't directly affect a minor league club, sometimes it can too, because sometimes some minor league personnel are involved in deals. But either way, it's an exciting time for when a big league franchise does something like that.
It is. It's really exciting. And as I mentioned, you know, we probably did trade the third baseman that was scheduled to play here in Lexington, but I think Dayton Moore did a tremendous job. He set out to get starting pitching in the offseason, and we acquired 3 by trade, 1 by free agent, and we didn't give up a single major league player to do it. Well, with the exception of about 9 days of service that Jake Odorizzi had. So I think it was a tremendous job. You know, we had to trade some minor league players, and you got to swallow hard sometimes, but we put ourselves in a legitimate chance to compete in the American League Central.
We're less than a month away from the date you mentioned about getting the guys back out on the field. What's ahead for you before then?
I just got back from Arizona. I flew from Arizona to here. I'll go home for about 2 weeks, and then I head out, and I'll be in Arizona for 2 months. And we got guys coming in, and we're getting them ready to play. And, you know, it's just putting teams together and getting guys ready to get out on the field.
All right. Well, again, we appreciate you being here tonight.
Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Brandon Barnes is with us on Inside Scoop. He was drafted and signed by the Astros in 2005 and was with the Legends for part of the 2008 and 2009 seasons. Then it was on to Lancaster, a brief stop at AA Corpus Christi at the end of the 2009 season, and then back to Lancaster in 2010, but then on to AAA that year, which was then at Round Rock, and then AA and AAA in 2011, and again in 2012, before being called up from AAA Oklahoma City to the Houston Astros, and made his Major League debut with the Astros on August 7th, 2012. And first of all, Brandon, thanks for being with us, and congratulations on that big league call-up this year.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
That in describing the stops made in the minor leagues, the trip varies for various ball players, but for you, I know at times it must have seemed like a very long time working your way through the minors, and I would think then extra exciting to get that call near the end of the last regular season.
Oh, definitely. You know, everybody has their path to the big leagues. You know, some guys play, 1 year in the minors, some guys play 4, some guys play 8 like myself. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. And, I started my career slow, and I had some things to learn. And, I always felt like I could do it, and I had the work ethic, and I truly never stopped working until it happened. And, I feel like I'm working harder now than ever because I want that opportunity to play in the big leagues every day.
It does take an awful lot of dedication and hard work, regardless of the amount of time, of course, that it takes working through the minor leagues. And I know you credited your family as well for helping you stay with it and doing that hard work that it took, because there are always some tough times in the minor leagues, aren't there?
Yeah, I mean, I remember having a couple of years where I just thought I was done, and the most recent one was 2011 when I was in AAA, just struggling and couldn't really figure it out. I was doing well in AA and got called up, and just tried to get that momentum, and just kind of I thought I was so close to where I just tried to do too much, and it gets to that point where you put too much pressure on yourself, and with the grace of God and my pastor and my family, my wife's backing me and never letting me stop, I never gave up, and rebounded the next year and ended up in Houston.
We mentioned that you were in Lexington both in 2008 and 2009. It was a tough season here in 2008 as the ball club really struggled, and I know you had a setback in your career at that point. I think at one point going back to extended spring training. There are so many potential obstacles in the road for a big league player and a guy who makes it to the big leagues. And now that you can look back on it, you can kind of gain some perspective of that. But it had to be a pretty tough time then.
Yeah, I mean, 2008 was the first real year that I was contemplating quitting. I was fairly young. I wasn't old by any means, but I felt that if I was regressing and not getting better, then it was maybe time to move on and do something else. But I have that passion for baseball. I love baseball more than anything. Other than my family and God, but just having that passion and never wanting to quit. I would think about it, and this is what I wanted to do since I was 4 years old. So, just kept pushing through it, and I think those struggles and those times where I got sent down helped me. They made me a better player. They made me mentally stronger, and everybody knows that this game is more mental than physical.
Mm-hmm. Talking with Brandon Barnes of the Houston Astros, former Lexington legend, and now that those struggles, at least that part of the struggle is over, you mentioned the challenge of staying in the big leagues and trying to become a regular player, but as far as making it to the big leagues, that has happened now, and while you're certainly looking at it as a challenge to go ahead and establish yourself as a regular player, there had to be just a lot of excitement on that first day. Take us back to that, the call-up actually came, you were with the AAA Oklahoma City Club. Where was that? Where was the club at the time, and what were the circumstances regarding the call?
I'd been shooting really well when I got called up to AAA, so I tried not to do what I did the year before and put too much pressure on myself, and just kind of go out there and have the mentality of just going out and having fun and playing the game I love. And it was, I believe, August 6th, playing in Salt Lake City. Lost the game on a walk-off homer. I was in center field, and kind of bummed out. I'm a competitor. I don't like to lose, and came in after the game, kind of got my food and just kind of relaxed and going over the game. And Tony DeFrancisco called me into the office and just said he wanted to talk about the game. And I went in there not even thinking anything, and went in there. He asked me, I thought he was going to ask me like where the pitch was or how it played out, and he kind of asked me, you don't seem like the same players you have been. You seem kind of down, and I told him, there's times in this game where you got to be the same person. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. Whether you're struggling or doing really well, you got to stay at that same level and not try to show anybody up or not to let people know that you're down. So he just kept asking me why I was down, and I told him I was fine, and he said, "That's good because you're going to the big leagues."
Wow.
And I think at that moment the tears started flowing. It'd been a long road, and finally got the opportunity to play in the big leagues, and it just tears were flowing, and I got to call my wife, and she started crying, and I got to call all my family, and first thing that came to my mind is I want to be able to let younger guys know that you might not be the best out there, but with hard work and a good work ethic and the time you put into this game, it's going to pay off. Whether it's a year from now or 8 years from now, it works out. And going into the stadium for the first day, walking through the dugout and then coming out in the field, it was so surreal. I didn't want to stop and talk to, the media. I just kind of wanted to run out there and play around like a little kid, like I was 4. But, part of the job is talking to the media, and I enjoyed it because it was my first real interview in a big league stadium, and it was so. I mean, it was a gift from God, definitely, and I just couldn't look at it any other way. And it was just, I probably acted like and felt like a 4-year-old kid playing on a big league field.
Well, having asked some other former ball players and current ball players about that first day in the big leagues, that's they never forget it, regardless of how long they play or what happens in the career. That first day will always be with you, and something you can always celebrate and celebrate that call up from the minor leagues. And you instantly really created something of a trademark for yourself. I mean, you've always played hard and gone after every ball, whether it's in center field or one of the corner positions, but you established yourself as a guy who can show up on the highlight reel now and then. And while every guy is looking for consistency every day, it's nice to be able to provide that highlight play. And you made really a series of great catches in your time with the Astros, and something that the fans can remember you for.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you talked about, I give it everything I've got when I'm out there, and I truly do. I leave my heart and my soul on the field every day, and I want to win, and whatever I can do to help my team. Well, I could go 0 for 4 that night, but I plan on, maybe getting on base and stealing a bag, or doing playing some good defense, and saving a run or throwing a guy out. It's not just about, the hitting in this game. It's about all the little things that comes with it, and any way I can help my team try to win a game. And defense has always been my strong suit, and now that the hitting's finally coming around, it's starting to all fall in place, and I'm pretty excited about the opportunity I got and the opportunity I'm getting this year.
Talking with Brandon Barnes of the Houston Astros, former Lexington legend. And Brandon, one of the really outstanding plays was in St. Louis back on September 20th. And for the fans listening that have not seen that, look that one up if you can. Brandon Barnes' catch in St. Louis on September 20th. John Jay was the hitter. The ball was hit into right center, and you were playing center field in St. Louis, where Jim Edmonds made a few highlight plays in his career. But that day, the spotlight was on you, and the home crowd applauded as well. Tell me about that catch as you went into right center for a diving catch.
We played John Jay kind of the other way. He goes the other way quite a bit, so I was, shaded to left center and in a little bit. So, had to get a really good jump and had to not give up on the ball. And as soon as I saw it hit, I just, turned and started running and kind of found that spot where I thought the ball was going to be. And, I could have shut it down and maybe just played it off the wall or let it one off the wall. But, I think people that know me know that I'll run through a wall for my pitcher. And, I never want to give up on a play. So I, just kept going. As I got closer and closer, I really thought I had a good chance. So I just gave it everything I got, gave it a good jump, and ball went right in the web. And, took a little spill at the end with the face, but, it's all worth it.
Well, it was a terrific catch, and one that made SportsCenter that night, and I'm sure fans have enjoyed watching it on video many, many times since then. You've had an opportunity to play in 43 big league games, and now, of course, with Houston making its move to the American League, in addition to really retooling the entire club. Nothing is certain right now, but on the other hand, you are now an experienced Major League ball player. The Astros have a new manager again, so there's always a new challenge up ahead in trying to continue to earn that spot, isn't there?
Yeah, I'm excited to meet Bo Porter and the new coaching staff, and see all the guys that were there last year. And I'm really looking forward to spring. I'm excited to get going with the team. Our goal is to win games this year. And whether it be a young club or an old club, it doesn't matter to us. We want to go out there and we're going to work hard and we're going to give it everything we have. Every day and spring training, and turn that over into the season. American League West is not an easy division, so I feel like we're on the right track where we want to be, and we're going to give it everything we have every day and just battle.
And when you talk about giving it your all every day, for you that usually includes a period of time beyond the regular American professional season. You just finished up in the Venezuelan Winter League, and you played in the Australian League last year, and then the Arizona Fall League the year before that. Your baseball season is just about year-round. You've got, I would assume, a little bit of time off now before spring training to relax just a bit. Is that what's going on now?
Not really. I don't believe in an off season. My season's all year round, whether it's the 4 months we get off. I'm constantly in the gym, working on my speed, working on my outfield, hitting every day, having someone throw to me. This is, a lot of people think the off season, a lot of guys just go home and relax. And this is a job for us. This is something that we love to do. And, I'm actually talking to you guys from the gym right now. It's one thing. I want to get better. I want to be better than I am yesterday, and I think that only comes with the next day, working hard every day, and going out and playing winter ball and getting that opportunity to showcase yourself in different situations and in different places, and really build on and work on things out there in winter ball.
Well, Brandon, we appreciate your time today. Again, congratulations on the call-up last year, and good luck as you make the most of that experience last year and take on that challenge again in spring training with the Houston Astros, now a member of the American League West in 2013. And, of course, you have a lot of backers here in Lexington that are wishing you well all the way along.
Yeah, I appreciate everything that everybody did for me in Lexington, and just sad to see that we're not there anymore, but wanted to give a little shout-out to Robin and Steve Gall and just say thanks for everything you guys did for me.
Well, I'm sure they're in your corner all the way, too. Brandon, we appreciate the time today. Thanks again, and good luck in 2013.
Thank you, Keith.
That'll do it for this edition of Legends Inside Scoop. Thanks for being with us. A reminder, the 2013 home opener just 76 days away. And those season seat plans, along with the 8-game mini plans, are on sale right now. Call the Legends box office at 859-422-7867 or go online to LexingtonLegends.com. Also at LexingtonLegends.com, you can find out more information about the National Anthem tryouts coming up February 9th and 10th. In Fayette Mall, in the wing of the mall near Dick's Sporting Goods. So join us on February 9th and 10th for those National Anthem tryouts as well, and then just 76 days away from the Legends home opener against the Asheville Tourists on Monday night, April the 8th. Thanks to our guest tonight, Legends manager Brian Buchanan, Kansas City Royals director of minor league operations Scott Sharp, and the Houston Astros Brandon Barnes, a former Legend. Thanks also to producer Jake Davis. I'm Keith Elkins, and we invite you to join us again next Tuesday night for the Legends Inside Scoop.
You've been listening to the Lexington Legends Inside Scoop, an in-depth look at your Lexington Legends on ESPN Sports Radio 1300, WLXG AM Lexington. Tune in next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock for more inside information on the Lexington Legends with Keith Elkins. We now return you to our regularly scheduled ESPN Sports Radio 1300 programming.